Password accepted.
Hey guys, it's your girl Cameron and I'm back at it again with another video. And today I want to talk about women and being able to embrace sensuality, sexuality, and why it tends to be a problem for some people, and especially when it comes to different types of women. Now this is going to be kind of an analysis on this topic, but I want to use Chloe Bailey and what's been recently happening with people judging her recent posts as the centerpiece and the platform for this conversation. You know, I'm a 21-year-old Black girl. I do not have anywhere near the attention or the fame or notoriety that Chloe or Hallie, her sister, has. But I feel like I wanted to make this video from the perspective of someone around her age and someone who can resonate maybe with what she's kind of saying, going on that journey myself. But I want to create and talk about different perspectives, what I think about the situation, and how I think that this is a very important conversation to have. So please like, comment down below, what do you think? Do you agree, disagree with me, respectfully? And please hit that subscribe button down below. Just kidding, not really, but just kidding. Hit that subscribe button at least before you leave if you want to see more content like this. Thank you guys for watching, and without further ado, let's just get straight into the commentary. Let's go. So to dive right into this, we're going to talk about Chloe Bailey, what's been going on, and her response, and then we will dive right in. So for those of you guys who aren't updated with everything, but Chloe Bailey is one of two members of Chloe and Hallie. They are both sisters. I remember seeing them in like Meet the Browns, like when they were little kids. So you could say they were child stars in a way. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure what else they've done. I know that they did the YouTube covers, and that is how they gained fame. Then they got the co-sign of Beyonce. Their careers kind of just took off from there, and they've really been in their bag this past year. And so Chloe is the older sister. Chloe is 22, and I just want to preface that she's 22. She is technically considered an adult by far. 18, I get it. 22, going on 23, she's an adult. But Chloe and Hallie recently just got separate accounts. Now, both of them have a joint account for Chloe and Hallie, but as far as I'm concerned, it's just very been marketed to the two of them, sharing it, so they really don't always get to show their personality through that Instagram page. And I think that was the purpose of them both creating their own, especially with Hallie going on her own journey with playing Ariel, and also with just Chloe kind of being this breakout and people really connecting to her and her performance and everything. This is where the issue comes into play. So Chloe has had her Instagram. She's already hit 1 million subscribers. Boom. And people have been noticing or feeling like Chloe, since she posted the Bust It challenge, that all of a sudden her content has turned extremely sexual and it seems a bit too much, too fast. Some people think that it's ingenuine, that it's kind of like she wants some sort of attention or whatever. Like Chloe, she has the body, she has the look, she's beautiful. So a lot of people gas her up for sure. I'm not trying to deny the support that she has by any means, but there were, and I remember looking under some comments when she posted her dance video of her dancing in her room, that people are like, is it just me, or does it feel like she's kind of doing the most for the gram? And then further, when she posted her in her room, and she was in a t-shirt and underwear, and she was burning, like, I don't know about all that. But then it becomes a conversation of backlash and controversy. for her, I mean, moving, I guess, suggestively or showing some more of her body or her shape, which is something she literally cannot control. She's just naturally shaped like that. And again, I think it's funny because women get shamed for getting surgery, for trying to look like that and have the curves and have the butt. But when a girl or a young woman has that, it's automatically sexualized. And I would argue more so with Black women, 110%. And this will all kind of come into the conversation. So Chloe went online, but she started to express how she's had to learn to accept herself. And through that, with her posting some of these videos, she's kind of confused about the backlash. Very emotional about it. Like, you could tell that, I don't want to say it bothered her, but she was emotional because you can tell that she's really done the work to kind of get to the confidence that she has now, and she was very confused why people were tearing that down.
Hard for me to think of myself as a sexual being or an attractive being, quite frankly. So when I see all the uproar about my posts and stuff, I'm a bit confused. Like, I really don't understand because I've never seen myself in that way or in that light.
And one of the most interesting things that I think she said in the video that I think is super important, and probably one of the things that I relate to the most.
I'm such a nerd, and I'm not worldly at all. Like, ask anyone who knows me, they think I'm like 50 years old in the head. But when I perform and when I make music and when I dance, that's when I get to tap into the sexier side of myself. And that's where I find my confidence.
I'm not sure if all women have that moment where they tap into that, and I feel like, and I hope that a lot of women can get to that point at some point in their lives where they can be like, you know what, I feel beautiful, I feel sexy doing this, whatever that is, right? And at 22, which I think is very young to kind of tap into that, I do think, let me not get ahead of myself, there's some jealousy.
Okay. Bitch, if you're bad built, huh?
Just a little bit from some older women or women who are more conservative. I think that there's some judgment and there might be a little bit of jealousy. I mean, this is a young girl. She's beautiful. She's shaped to a T. And she's discovering herself and figuring herself out at 22. And sometimes this kind of stuff, it's a process. But some women do not ever find this. And some women, it takes long. It takes a while, right, to have that. For me, and I want to also speak on my perspective, is literally when I tell you, when Chloe was like, people who know me swear I'm an old soul, but like when I dance and when I sing, I just feel it. To be honest with you, I'm not trying to sit here and be like, oh my gosh, like she's me, I'm her. But when she said that specifically, I was like, that is exactly how I feel sometimes. And people will tell you, like, I'm always talking like an old lady. Like, I'm literally a child mixed with a young woman mixed with an old lady. But, like, the old lady jumps out. I get a lot of the time the innocent label. Like, you're so innocent. Like, because I carry myself a certain way. Or I say things. Or I don't say things, right? I do this in every video. But I'm a dancer. And I do all types of styles. But I really love to, like, do the sensual, sexy, more sensual, you know, choreography, performance. And I think a lot of people and people that I've come across are really surprised. They're like, I didn't think that you could do that. Like, you have that in you, like kind of like an alter ego. And when she mentioned that, I will say that a lot of the times when I'm dancing, that's when I feel the sexiest and I feel like I'm embracing myself, especially when I'm doing that sensual movement. And that's, you know, kind of like the videos that Chloe did. That's the type of stuff I like to do. I'm a dancer. So I understood that. It's like, I'm not necessarily posting this to get any attention or male attention. I don't need that. I have a boyfriend. Like, I don't need that. But it's something that makes me feel good. And I don't know what people think about that, right? Like, I don't know if somebody's come on my page and be like, ugh. I've gotten YouTube comments where people are like, ugh, she thinks she's so much better than herself. Like, she's in love with herself. Like, just mad for no reason, because there's somebody who's confident in themselves and embracing themselves, right? And a lot of the times it's because other people don't have the confidence to do that. Women should be allowed to be everything, right? A lot of the times it's either or an or, right? So like you have the good girl versus the bad girl trope. There's the private girl, there's the wild one, there is the naughty, and then there's the nice. And I think personally, in general, we judge people, but women especially, on how you carry yourself. Somebody might not know anything about you, but they look at you and they're gonna think, oh, she's a prude, she must be innocent, oh, she's a hoe, oh, she's easy. Like, that's literally the start of the judgment, the ridicule that a lot of women experience, sexual harassment, assault, just based off of how you carry yourself. If I've already portrayed you as a good girl, or I've already portrayed you as this, girl, what are you doing that, right? And other people are like, wait a minute, what? Like, I thought you were a good girl. Oh, the internet is turning you out. The internet is, you're showing out for the gram. And I want to challenge this too, like, through conversation. And I honestly, and I'm going to be real with you guys, I had to check myself and reevaluate, because I remember when I was seeing her post these things, I was like, I've never seen Chloe like this. And it wasn't necessarily in a bad way, but I did wonder for a second. I was like, is there maybe some other thing behind this? But I don't know her. And that's what I'm trying to get people to understand, is you don't know people. Women are multifaceted. Women should be able to have different sides to them, and women should be able to display that how they want. And I honestly think Chloe and Halle having a joint account, they weren't really able to like share that. And I had to check myself and think, like, how much of this is like the perception and people perceiving that, putting this good girl image on Chloe and Halle, maybe because they're Southern belles, or they speak a certain way, or they carry themselves a certain way, right? Like, I've seen the interviews, they've always kind of been out of the way. You didn't know much about them when you heard them talk. They were good. They sound like they have great heads on their shoulders. They're smart, young women. And so I think a lot of people kind of interpreted that as like, oh, like, they must be, Chloe, they assumed that she's innocent. And I think that's the thing that Chloe was also trying to portray. It's just like, let me live. I'm literally just letting you guys into my world. And okay, so guys are thirsty. It's not necessarily her fault, and that doesn't mean that was her goal. And like she even said in her life, she was like, I'm flattered that you guys even look at me like a sexual being, because never in a million years does she think she could be viewed like that. And I think it's interesting how people put people on pedestals, or put them to standards where it's like, you expect some women to like shake their butt on the gram or show everything or whatever, and then there's other women that you just don't expect it from. So when it happens, you're like, what does she do here? Like, what's the real deal? Like, this can't be her, right? Almost like somebody's holding a gun to her head, telling her like, do the dance, like, show your ass, like. And who says what she's doing is naughty, right? Or who says what she's doing is not innocent? Like, I see a lot of girls and women being the main people vocalizing this, and it's very interesting because I think it's funny. You're allowed to have your opinion, but I do think that that's interesting that there's women who are the first to come at her. And some of these women, either A, you're doing the same thing, if not more. She just has a bigger platform. Or B, maybe you're not comfortable or confident. Again, and I'm not saying everybody who doesn't agree with her showing herself, which the girl's never been naked, but it almost makes me wonder, like, what's your problem? Are you mad? And I've noticed this too as a younger girl, like, there will be older women who will kind of just be nasty or rude, or think they can talk to you any type of way, or say anything or talk to you crazy because you're young. And the older I've gotten, I'm like, how much of that is just you got a nasty attitude and you're just not a good person? But how much of that might be this internalized, like, oh, this is this young girl, this young thing, like, your time came. It went. And for people mad, like, if you're mad, like, I'm not shaped like that. But I'm going to embrace what I have. So I almost kind of feel like if you're really that pressed, is there something she has that you want? And I say that, and that's not just exactly to Chloe, but this is what I'm saying about relationships with women judging other women for how they choose to live their life. I feel like that's the whole thing, especially when we talk about feminism and women saying they're for women. It's like, isn't a part of that fighting for women to have the choice to do what they want to do, not what we think a woman should do, because that's just contributing to the whole idea of patriarchy. Like, shouldn't a part of that goal be women should have the agency and the freedom to do what they want, the same that men do? And I think that speaks to the culture that in the relationship that a lot of women have with one another, it can be very toxic, it can be very judgmental. And I'm curious if people had a change of heart when they kind of heard what she was saying. I don't know. I know I feel like I understood what she was trying to say and I could connect it to my life. Kind of feeling like people look at me one way, and, you know, I've always been quiet around people I don't know. I've never been the person to be out and about, and this is not me being like, I'm not like other girls. You know, I've just never really been out there like that. And so people assume, oh, like, you look innocent, you must be this, you must be that. And then when I'm in, you know, just feeling myself dancing in my bedroom or taking a dance class or whatever, and I pop out and people are like, whoa, like, what the hell? Like, that's crazy. Like, you do that? No way. And like I said, it's not ever really in like a negative tone, but it's just in such a shock. Like, and some people might feel like, maybe you shouldn't post that on the internet. Maybe you shouldn't be dancing like that. Like, but at the end of the day, it's my life, and I never do anything that I don't want to do. I, you know, don't have a gun to my head. I post what I want to post. And I think that's kind of where Chloe was coming from. And I think being a young woman, especially in your early 20s, like I said, I'm 21. So I feel like I'm kind of in that stage, and she doesn't need to be doing that. But why? And Chloe's talking about how it's taken her so long to embrace herself. You know, as time goes on, you see these images being shoved down your throat. I mean, there's a video of Chloe talking about how she was insecure about her stretch marks.
And for so long, I used to think I was like fat, and like I used to hate my stretch marks and my cellulite. I'm not gonna cry.
Like, genuinely insecure about it. And it's crazy because she literally has the body that girls pray for and pay for. Okay? And that was something that she was not comfortable with. And I was like, that must freaking suck when you're like, okay, I'm confident. I can share this. I want to let people in my world. And then there's people saying, you're doing too much. You're over-sexualizing yourself. You're doing this. And it's like, maybe it's you over-sexualizing me. To wrap this up, my thought process behind this is reevaluating what are the preconceptions you have of someone else, and how much of this in your head have you expected this person to live up to, or made up in your head? Because like I said, we really don't know Chloe or Hallie like that. We don't. And I do think there's a little bit of like, oh, we saw them kind of grow up, which to an extent yes, to an extent no. But how does that translate to your real life and how you see and you treat other women who might do different things than you, or carry themselves different, or be interested in different things? Or how do you say, you know what, I'm not going to judge, but rather uplift, or at least mind your business? Like, what works for you works for you, what works for her works for her. And I hope every woman finds the confidence and gets to a place where Chloe's expressed that she's at, where she's found those places and those pockets where she feels sexy and she wants to share it. And I do think that's where some of the backlash and the animosity comes from. It's like, maybe you're not comfortable doing that, so you're projecting that. So that's kind of all I wanted to say. Please like, comment down below, what do you think about women being able to embrace their sexuality, especially specifically Black women? Do you think that Chloe is doing a lot? Do you think she's just doing her? Do you think that the backlash is warranted or not? Curious. respectful in the comments though. Please hit that subscribe button down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.